Steamboat, new course. Been pretty bad about this. Let's talk about pre-race. What did you think? What were your expectations? Race blew up fast.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be a fast race, and it was a fast race. You know, pre-riding, I was like, oh, wow, I averaged like 18 and a half or 19, just out kind of cruising along, doing it with effort.
20.2. So what were you doing?
Dude, you had better win. Get out of here. So yeah, after that, you know, I was like, oh, we're probably going to average like nearly 24 miles an hour, which is quite fast for a gravel race, which is kind of cool, but also makes it kind of hard to make separation and, you know, kind of kick the race off. I mean, as you found, the race was kind of slow early, a bit negative as usual. Fortunately, there's those two kind of steep climbs in the middle that I just kind of was waiting for to just ride, and
you went hard.
Make it. Yeah, I mean, I just went hopefully up enough, you know.
I don't know. I came out pre-road. I was first off a little bummed. We were out in Hayden. I thought Steamboat's always had this like really fun personality to it, but again, Sea Otter was a blast on the lap, so I was kind of like, oh, like let's see how dynamic it can be. But wow, it was fast, like really fast.
Yeah, really fast.
Yeah, and I think my issue with laps that are that wide open is that typically it plays out the exact same way every single lap. So people wait for these moments that fit them best until the race ends up being kind of this weird slow motion molasses. And I kind of felt like once we had that group, no one had any reason to have to push.
No, just push enough to keep the gap.
Yeah,
that was all.
It was at lap 2. We had 8 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
So I was, yeah. Yeah, what, being how fast it was, you go some big dog gears. What was the bike looking like?
Yeah. You know, it was fun to run the big dog gears. I ran the 52 tooth single chainring with Explorer in the back, the 1046. Fast tires, ran the 40 mil Receptor. Haven't raced on a 40 in a long time. So
there you go.
Able to break the 40s out with the deep wheels. Ran the deepest wheels I have, the 52 63s.
Yep.
Skin suit, you know, all the things.
Yeah.
And you had a similar setup. You had like 40 slicks as well. And
yeah, I had a faster bike. I had a faster bike than you though.
I mean, probably.
I pulled out the all-road bike. I wanted to race a road bike with a 5440. It was a little bit too much gear.
A little big.
Yeah, but I played games with like how much can I just throw a wrench into what this gravel thing is, right? Because I think that is the one thing is most of those roads are mag chloride. There's one section of like a little bumpy, but like,
yeah, it was like what, 2K of like a little bit of washboard and loose gravel. Like,
I mean, you could have. Think about 3 years ago, we would have been on 35s, 30s.
Oh yeah,
no question.
Easy. Yeah.
It's just funny how your mind works. I do think the bigger tires, like a 40 is probably faster than a 30 for most of that. But I think about the finish and you're like, 30 would have rolled.
Oh yeah. Just got to get there with air.
You got to get there with air,
you know? So that's like the thing. It's like this gamble of like, got to get there. Got to control the wiener.
I got to send someone to get the dog now. He's terrorizing. Bikes, nutrition. Nutrition was hard today. We didn't have neutral feeds.
Tricky, huh?
That kind of sucked.
Yeah, like there was neutral water, but honestly, I'd almost rather just make everyone just carry all their own shit. Like, I'm not sure, like it was kind of nice having water, but then you're still to carry all your carbs and your sodium and stuff. So you're trying to figure out like how much you're going to carry, and you're trying to figure out how long the race is. And like, do I carry a little extra? Do I run a little lean?
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to get all those carbs from just gels too. When you're used to taking in mix, like the stomach's like, this is kind of weird. Like you're dumping in a bunch of carbs at once. I was running flasks with like 4 gels, which was just nice. These are less trash, and that way you can just like take a big squeeze, get like 60 carbs. If you did like 2 or 3 pulls per thing, and then made it a little easier that way. Then I was just trying to take flasks with every couple sips of water. That worked pretty well. But yeah, it's still tricky. You know, I don't know if I like had enough or if I had a little too much. Sometimes I feel like I had too much at once, but then you're like, well, it's better to have too much.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make
sure. I mean, that was the thing. It's more courts. Like we're coming down that asphalt descent at the end, and all I was thinking was, I am like done eating gels. And I very rarely in these races do I get like that, but it's that fact of not kind of being able, you know, the number you want to hit, how many grams of carbs you want to hit, how much sodium, but then backing that off is really hard when you're like, okay, it'll be probably sub 5 hour race to be fast, but that's still a lot of carbs. For most of us, you're talking about over 600 grams of carbs. And so you're trying to like figure out how to force that in, but also still get the salty one in, knowing you're only going to get water. Cause like I've never used Morton, right? So I wasn't going to grab any of those bottles. So I was always like trying to play around, and I feel like I brought a little too much.
Me too.
But I would rather do that than the opposite, because it's you know, like, weirdly, I don't know, maybe it's slower, something goes wrong, you have a 5.5 hour day, it changes quite a lot.
If the race gets super negative or slow, then all of a sudden you don't have enough nutrition, you have to stop. But then there was like this not really a feed zone, but there's people handing like gels and bottles and wondering.
There's one feed zone, but then there was actually 3 feed zones.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, just let us have a feed zone like every other bike race in the country and most of the world. That would be cool next year. If you guys want to do that for us, Steamboat.
We did ask.
We tried.
And to be fair, they've never had a feed zone, but I think the neutral feed on a lapped course makes very little sense.
And like at least the race we blew it up enough, and there's only, you know, a group of 6 of us, so it was like relatively not stressful to grab bottles. But if it had been a group of like 30 guys, and there's only 10 volunteers handing bottles, it could have been a little sketchy. And
the danger side of it. But I also think, and this is, you know, maybe people don't want to talk about this all the time, but there is a side of it also is like, I work with the feed. You work never second.
I don't want Martin bottles.
Exactly. And it isn't like against Morton, it isn't against SBT, but if you were to win with that, a lot of the photos, like Avery went to take a photo after the race, I'm drinking out of a Morton bottle, and I'm like, can't use that, so maybe don't take a picture. Yeah. It's a weird moment, you know, because
you don't have a choice.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
What are you going to open the bottles and pour? I should have. Yeah. Tactics of the race.
Hard.
Yeah.
Tactics were difficult.
Hard to pin down. We started with a pretty small field. 60 guys, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, you know, there was so much racing going on this weekend. You had Belgian Waffle Ride, Montana, and then there's a stage race in Oregon. And I think it was just like too many races on one week. And, you know, once again, it'd be nice if the promoters would talk amongst each other and like it would benefit everyone.
Yep.
Because we could do all these races and we all could have better competition.
Yep. We had a pretty good group here, though.
You know?
Of all the guys, like I thought this was probably one of the.
I think the pointy end was like probably the most stacked of.
But then it falls off pretty quick for everybody. Yeah.
So I think it was, you know, still one of the bigger races we have.
Yeah.
But wasn't the SBT we're used to, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's hard. You know, moving to June, it changes it for everybody. I think we kind of talked a little bit, but coming off Unbound, right before the race, you're saying like, are people gotten back on training well? Right? Are they acclimated? Like there's a beauty and a difficulty to coming off Unbound. And it's not just resting. It's like, when do you get back on the horse? Right. Because it's going to hurt no matter what you do. It's kind of going to suck that week.
Good one to rip the Band-Aid off at least before Leadville. And it's like there's like just enough time to acclimate if you're us and you live at altitude, which fortunately we do. So it was like, at least just go home and you're acclimated to race here, which was nice. I know Brennan spent a month in Tahoe, so he was acclimated. So it's like, I think guys were, if you were here to win, then you were ready to race, which is cool. It's not super high, you know, compared to Leadville. So it's like relatively easy to acclimate for most people, I think, which is cool.
Yeah. What is your, so let's just play out the course a little bit for people. So, you know, 38-ish mile loop. We were doing like an hour and 40 minutes, like it's going fast. What's your kind of mindset when we get into those situations where you have only 5-6 guys? You know, we have the weird thing where I think people watch it. Sometimes guys don't pull through, right? And maybe one time it's like, oh, whatever, you're eating a gel, or you missed a pull, or you missed a wheel, no problem. But when it starts to become a thing, it gets annoying, right? And it's trying to find that line where, you know, no one wants to be the guy yelling for everyone to pull through, but also everyone wants it to be fair, and you want everyone to like actually race toward the finish line. What's your kind of mindset when you get into that? Like, you seem to always be the guy to always pull through. You just focused on just doing the wattages you know you can do? Like, is it a numbers thing, or is it just like...
I think it's a bit of both, you know? It's like that second lap, and even the end of the first lap, it's like we weren't riding that hard. It was really just like keep the speed, just like hit the front and pull through. It's like it was really just doing tempo. Yeah. So it was like a little frustrating to have guys sitting on when it's like all we gotta do is establish this gap. Once he gets over a couple of minutes, then you guys, if you want to play games, like do whatever you need to do. But it's like that was the move, and it's just like at certain points, like just roll through. You don't need to sit there and ride hard.
I think Kobe did a good job. Kobe did not. He did not. I wouldn't say he was ever pushing the pace to the front, but he didn't ever miss pulls.
You know, so it's a little. It's like if you're there, it's like just roll through, because if one guy sits on, then another sits on, and then it just is like this negative thing. And then
I think we saw that with Brennan. I don't want to call Brennan out. He won the race, but like I felt like he worked so much better once we dropped Toby. Because one guy sitting on feels very different than 2 guys sitting on. You look next to you and you're like, oh, cool. And it's not the whole time, right? Brennan didn't miss a pull the last lap. But it's like, it's a 3-lap race. It's where's that cohesion? It's everyone working together.
Sometimes, to get everyone to to kind of rally. I think also once we were in the situation where there was just 5 of us, everyone's willing to ride because that's the podium.
Yep.
Right? Like all you gotta do is keep riding and you're guaranteed a top 5. So I think that's another incentive is once that group gets small enough is then you're guaranteed the top. So it's like yeah, you just kind of gotta whittle it down a bit, you know, and it's just this balance. But it's hard, you know, because I don't know if Toby was like, you don't know if he's actually toast or
Well, I told you.
if he's playing games, because he's a smart bike racer, you know. He's not to be underestimated. I think he's fooled us more than once. So I think I'm always a little leery of him. It's like he might say he's tired, but I don't ever trust him.
Well, and so I guess we'll take one step back. So you guys had a group ahead, and I was like, I missed the move. So I'm coming across with Toby, and like I wouldn't have made it without him. So when we got to the group when he didn't pull through, I think I missed a couple turns, but kind of got in rotation.
It was reasonable. You guys just got there.
Yeah,
we was riding pretty hard, but like Kobe wasn't really pushing, and Brennan wasn't really pushing. I'm like, you guys, if we push, we can. This can be the race.
It was funny. You know? We would ride hard, and when you or Pete were on the front, we wouldn't make any time. And when Brennan or Kobe were on the front, we'd slowly come back to you guys.
I was riding. I mean, I was riding like around 400 on the front, like pretty much wide open to try and make this gap. And like then I saw they were kind of like not pushing. I was like, well, then maybe I'm not going to push.
That's how that cohesion works.
That's how it falls apart.
Yep.
And then you guys came together, and I don't know if Brennan and Pete also realized that Kobe and Toby
were kind of teammates. Yeah.
They're not teammates, but they always race as teammates. Yep. This happened to Valley of Tears and other races. So I was like, I'd rather not have these guys here.
Yep.
And unfortunately, you weren't there. So it worked out that you really get there because then you always ride and help make it.
But yeah, that was my big thing is when I got across and I'm like, obviously Toby is good at faking it, but I was like, he made some hero pulls to get back to you guys.
I mean, he's a big guy. Yeah. He can roll.
And that I was like, and I almost came off his wheel, and then we got there and I was like, cool, he's going to come around. And I don't think he was bluffing. He was struggling.
But it's hard to tell you don't know him, you know. I didn't trust him.
Yeah. Okay, maybe a couple questions. We'll finish up with what's before Leadville. Anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, it's
not really.
Get some questions. I think we nailed it.
Got an Alexey and Keegan note here. Let's just go. I think it's great when we go to 40. It's tire pressure. Where'd you start? Because it also got hot from when we started.
Man, I wasn't really sure what to do. Like I said, I haven't used 40s in a long time. So I was like, the other day I was pre-riding. I was like 30. I think I started off on like 36, 37. I was like, God, it's a little hard. Dropped it to like 34. That was a little bit soft.
Yep.
So I went out today with 34, 35, expecting it to just like get a little harder the last lap.
Yep.
We're just fine. Because I was like, by then, like, you know, the group will be kind of made. And then ideally the tires a little harder for the finish.
Yeah.
So yeah, around 34, 35, and I think it was about right. It was a little rough sometimes, but they were rolling really well on the mag and on the pavement, of course. And I knew Brennan was going to be up to his usual stuff at the finish, and I wanted the bike to be as fast as possible. So yeah, I've learned my lesson last year at Nationals when you rolled us. They like 2K to go, or less than that. And then sure enough, same kind of thing happened. So you know, maybe after 2 times we'll learn our lesson.
You'd think. Yeah, I mean, I did pretty much the same thing. I think I started on the other day at like 36, 38, and I moved down to 33, 35 to start today.
Yeah, it's about the same. We are about the same. So
yeah, try to play games. So you guys were airplane. If you guys all watch this, Keegan and I could be on a private jet at some point.
Keep sharing.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe, so we can fly a private jet to the gravel races, just like F1. You know, we are friends. We're not faking it. I guess that leads into here. You know, are all the guys best friends racing? I feel like most of us are friends, but I wouldn't say best friends. You know,
I mean, I feel like a lot of us, we all get along.
Yeah.
There's no one I really don't get along with.
Yeah.
You know, like we're all like friends to a certain extent. Some closer friends with others.
Yep.
Then of course you have I have my teammate Tobin.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. You think same thing? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think there isn't. I think one of the reasons I told you I wanted to start this was because people think we aren't friends, right? Because in the race, I know, but I think in the races you look like it's, you know, you kind of go head to head, and that's the exciting part of it. But at the same time,
I've also never yelled at you in a race. You've never yelled at me. I don't think.
I don't.
There's a lot of guys that I've had wars with. Same with you. You know?
You thought I yelled at you at Unbound when you cut me off, but I didn't. You
were just saying, move on over.
You're good. I was proud to be able to run the same tires as you today. It wasn't like super slippery, but there's a couple corners, right?
It was a little bit slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was proud to see you on the slicks. He's a mountain biker.
Yeah. We'll see after Leadville. See if I run drop bars.
Ooh. are you?
I don't know. I really don't know. We went and rode Grodio. There's in
I think you
Envy,
should.
and it's like some proper chunk, and I had a blast riding with Truman. And Truman's pretty good at riding a bike.
Yeah.
And then I go back and forth. I'm like, I don't want to look like an idiot. But it is faster. I will admit right now, it is probably faster.
Yeah. I think you're fast enough.
I don't want to look like an idiot.
It'd be fine.
Send
it.
What's a training week look like between now and Leadville? Obviously this is 3 Leadville wins in a row so far? 4. 4. I obviously think right now Columbine's been your winning move, right? You have, I think, a lot of, at least for me, I look at it and I say, you've done a lot in the gym and you have that power to sit in the saddle and push a big gear. What does the training look like right now? Because,
yeah, it's like,
don't need to give too many secrets away. Just give us a little bit of insight.
Yeah, I mean, after this race, it's like I gotta take a couple days to recover a bit. This wasn't a super long race, but it was fairly intense. When it was on, it was on. So yeah, a couple days to recover and then get back to a bit of volume, bit of intensity.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science with Leadville. You really just need some volume, need a bit of intensity, and you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable at altitude. It's pretty much what it is,
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's one of the things I think people underestimate a lot is, and this is might just be me, but I think people really underestimate that tempo area.
Yeah.
How much tempo a lot of the pros do. Like even on Friday, right? I made that joke about riding 20 miles an hour, but I think I did an hour of tempo. You know?
As did I.
Because I think it gets that into your system, and like that is a lot of what our races are. It's just that like 300 to 320, and how you
there
feel.
a lot.
Yeah,
It's just
at our weight,
aerobic engine.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. And yeah, I think that's all. I think that's all I got. Okay, no racing between now and Leadville. Just altitude.
Just altitude, hanging out at home.
Yep.
Bet you and Crusher, maybe.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
I really wanted to, but I don't think I want to travel.
Yeah, I feel
busy.
It's nice to just
chill
a little bit,
I did have a question personally. How's your garage coming?
The garage is coming along.
That's all Keegan wanted the Levi winnings was for the garage.
That's it. Full incentive. Garage is coming along. Almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of garages out here. You can paint some American flags on the side.
Oh, dude, I love garages.
Yeah. It's good.
So all I've ever wanted is a garage to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to at some point do one at Keegan's house, and we'll get a little cribs situation in his garage.
Do a garage. It'll be something.
I guess quick shout out. Thanks to Shane Butter and Road Eddie for supporting this again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have anything funny? Mine says Willie's dad.
Keegan
never ate Witties. His mine just says nothing on it.
No, this one, I have another one that says not dead yet.
His dad's phone number is cool. Till next time, till Leadville.
Yeah, we'll see you then,
dude.
Likewise.
See ya.